I thought I lost you today. I wasn't sure what was going on.
You talking to me?
Yeah.
What happened?
No,
The class just opened.
mine would be open.
Oh, yeah.
Otto, one question. I pulled
Sure.
a muscle on my right side.
Say again. Say again.
I pulled a muscle on my right side between my waist and my hip doing yoga. And I was wondering, is there something that I shouldn't do today, or?
Well, that's the importance of like body awareness type stuff where you know your edges. And so I would say, without looking at it very specifically, I can't say do or don't do this, but your body will tell you. And exercises, remember, everything's sort of like medicines, right? It's all about the dosage of the movement, meaning how deep, how far. Like, let's say you're doing a twist and it feels a little bit weird. Maybe you're literally just turning yourself 1 degree and then back, right? So that's dosing your twist. Other days it feels fantastic to really turn and wring it out. So that's something that I would say you have to just kind of look at. Maybe the side leaning exercise wouldn't feel good. So there's many things we could, theorize might not be good for you, but really it's the idea that you got to pay attention to your body and back off, right? Do less. And even if you were to just sit here and breathe in and breathe out for an hour, that would be worthwhile, right? Okay. So even if you did zero of the movements, but all you did was just connect to your body and take big full breaths in and hold them in and breathe out and relax your shoulders and all of that. So anything above that is just gravy, right?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so just make sure you don't trigger and re-injure with too much effort. But other than that, I think you probably are okay.
Okay.
All righty, so again, welcome. So remember, we're looking for a comfortable seat. Something where you can feel the opportunity to arrange your structure so that it holds itself up. So if we have bad posture, then we end up having to tighten up all these muscles and holding onto our head to keep ourselves from, say, falling backwards, right? So the body's working in a way that's not useful, and that exhausts us, causes tension, hurts the nervous system, really, because the nervous system is in a constant state of work, versus you tip yourself to that middle place, you arrange your foundation of the building, you envision this Tai Chi visualization of a string suspending you from heaven. The chin has to be a little bit down in order to open the base of the skull. So a lot of times when I say lengthen up through the crown of the head, people go like this. Oh, but you can see not so useful, right? So chin slightly down, but then that actually lengthens the true crown of the head up. Let's just take about a minute of breathing in through the nose. That hold of breath is always really nice for many reasons, one of which is it brings the mind here, present, because you're just with the breath. And then you have to choose when it's time to let that breath seep out of your system and go all the way to empty. And that hold at the bottom is very useful for a similar reason, right? You hold empty. And then you have to choose, okay, now inhale. You're holding that breath in, you're waiting, watching. You let that breath smoothly out. Notice how you can relax tension in the body with that exhale. It goes along with it. Pausing at the bottom of the exhale, even if it's just 1 millisecond. And then inhale when you're ready. So let's just do 15, 20 breaths. Now stay with this breathing process, opening the eyes if they closed. And let's just briefly go through the massage. We won't take a lot of time with it, but I just want to reinforce the pattern or routine. Left hand on outside of right hand. Just go all the way up, over the shoulder, grab that elbow and pull it. Notice how you can get all the way to your back. Then come back out the way you came. Underneath, we go through, reaching up, drop that hand over. Notice you go all the way down, right? And all the way back out. So we just massage this whole side. Now we do the other. Right hand on the back of the left hand, go up, grab behind the elbow so you can get this hand further onto your back, and then smoothly back out. Underneath as you reach up, dropping that hand over because it gives you a nice stretch. You rub this hand down, back up and out. Rub the hands here, wrist and fingertips all the way. Then switch, wrist to fingertips. Thumb in the center of the palm, and then grab pinky, pull, release, ring, pull, release, middle, index, the little meat in between the thumb and index, then the thumb, then the inner meat and the thumb. We do the other hand. Thumb in the center of the palm, each finger, pinky, ring, middle, index, thumb, outer and inner. Hands on your neck. Go up, 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 right? So we're running the hands up the neck, up the neck, up the neck, up the neck, right? Then keep one hand there and use the other hand to rub the side of the neck. Then switch, side of the neck. Then we come around and go to our hair and scalp, all along the hair and scalp. So running the hands on your head there, the whole scalp. Then we do the forehead, open and along the temples. Open the forehead along the temples. Then we do bridge of nose up over the ears. So bridge of nose up over ears. Bridge of nose up over ears. Then we do the ears themselves. Press and squish. Then we do our jaw all the way down to the collarbones. Jaw. Getting all that tension out. And lung point 1 and 2. Rub in a circular motion in this little nook, this corner here. Then heart point 1, that's the outer rib cage. So we're just sort of doing like target practice here, right? Then we come under, up, and squeeze, 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 lymphatic drain. Then lung point 1 and 2, right in that space. Heart point 1, right on the outer rib. Under the chest, up, squeeze, 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 lymph drain, out. Rub the hands. Heart point, center of the chest, the heart center. The solar plexus. Liver and spleen. Kidneys. Lower back. Tailbone and sacrum. Then up and around to the belly. Lower liver and spleen, stomach, and intestinal region down by the navel. Then inguinal region, pubic region and groin, inner groin there, and then inner thighs, fronts of thighs, outer thighs, backs of thighs, knees, behind them, to the side, the front, the inner. Fold at your hips and go to lower leg, calf, and shin area. Ankles, feel all the little nooks and crannies of your ankle. Then come around the side of the feet to the inner feet and come all the way up. So that's a very brief run through, sort of a superficial run through of the massage, but you feel it does something for you. And especially if we're having brain-body kind of miscommunication and miscues, it's a wonderful way to close that gap and bridge that gap between what your brain feels in the body and then the information that it's getting and how can you trust it, right? That has to do with feeling balance and space and knowing how to reach and grab things. So self-massage regularly. And it just took us 2 minutes, 3 minutes, right? All right. Now sitting at the edge of your chair, hands on your knees, tip your pelvis back, round your back, slide your hands forward, drop your chin, open the back up. We're just gonna do 2 of each of these, so get the most out of it. Holding and just feeling that open space. And then relax that effort, come back to neutral, and let's arch. Chest up, heart up, chin, elbows back, shoulder blades back, and just hold that for a moment. Feel that satisfaction of just arching. And then relax. And let's do that one more time in each direction. So go into the position and just hold and wiggle and try to just picture in your mind, if you can, the back of the spine opening. The source points of the nerves and of the meridians of the Chinese medicine system. And then relax that effort, ooze your way to the middle, and then put a little effort, lifting, arching. You can wiggle it out a little bit. Just feel that satisfaction of getting the crook out your back. And relax and come to neutral. So now we're in the middle, ideally with a little less tension and effort. Let's wring out a little more with the twist. 1 to each side, left hand to right knee, right hand to right buttock. And we're turning lower belly area, rib cage and shoulders, and then the head. And just hold the position a little, again, as Michelle was bringing up. If if this has any pain to an injury that you're dealing with, then you can back off, or you go as deep as feels good. And then relax the effort and bring us back to center. And then turn the other way. So we'll just hold that twist. And it's not a race to an end point, right? We're not rushing to get somewhere. It's more the journey of twisting a little bit, and then maybe a little more through the mid and upper back, and then maybe you finish like a cherry on top, the head and neck. And then release that effort back to center. Arms hang. As you drip water out of your right ear, let your right arm get heavy, left arm gets super light, and it just floats up. Maybe it stops here. Maybe it floats all the way up, and then you can add a little effort of reach to the sky, like piercing heaven and piercing earth as you open the side gates of the body. And then let that top hand just drop like a ripe piece of fruit and just hang its way down, 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 down. And then we just lean, drip water out of your left ear. So that's really a useful visual because we just let the head lead. And then let that right arm get light, floating, and then pierce heaven and earth. Oh, that little effort right at the end if it's appropriate for you. And then melting that right piece of fruit down, down, down. Okay, now we're sitting upright. Right shoulder blade, elevate, melt it, shake it loose. The arm is like a noodle. Can you get this feeling of the arm as a noodle? Left shoulder blade up, melting it down, noodle. both. Up. And then snow melt down. And then noodle. One more like that. Both shoulder blades up. Think of this as an opportunity to take all that sort of tension and bottled up feeling and compress it and squeeze it just to exhaust it, to then go, and melt it. And you feel this like flush through of that area. Noodles. All right, now bring your legs close together. I'm going to turn slightly sideways so you can see. This right shoulder blade comes forward. That's known as protraction. Then there's an elevation. Then there's a retraction and a depression or release down, and it's back to relax. So make sure every time we go through, it comes to soft. Forward, up, back, down, and release. Forward, up, back, down, release. Now, if you get good at that release, you can sort of ride the release into the next round. So often in the beginning, when people are doing really any exercise, they never let go of it. It never completes. So it's like the whole thing's held in tension and then they're forcing it, and that just creates this sort of internal conflict, and it can hurt the joints. Let's go back the other way. Same idea. Back, up, forward, and then you got to let it go to melted and soft. So we didn't switch arms. We're just switching the direction. So same arm as the first one, but now we're going back, up, forward, down. And same idea, focus initially on getting that total complete soft, going to 0. And then you can ride that and go shoo, shoo. And it makes for a smoothness. One more. Switching arms, forward, up, back and down to a 0. And remember, the focus here is shoulder blade, this floating bone on our back rib cage that can protract, elevate, retract, depress. It's got about something like, what is it? It's like 7, 8, 9 different muscles attached to it all around. So it's a usual suspect for problems. Let's come back the other way. It's one of the most complex joints in the human body, this shoulder blade. And that's a good thing because it allows for a lot of really articulate movement, but it's bad if we don't address it and we let it stagnate. And down. Now we double it up. So it's lean forward, both shoulder blades, and we come up and back. Now you notice you can really let your arms go for a ride, but make sure the shoulder blades are the driver, right? You see how I'm moving here. I'm getting this lean and round and then this drawing back. And so there's just a lot of fluidity that can be developed with this basic movement. I'm leaning and rounding. And then I'm coming up and back, switching directions. So we go forward and then come back and up, forward and down. This fluid body, so much power can be generated from a fluid body. All right, we're back to neutral. Sitting neutral, left hand on right knee, lean over, draw that circle on the floor, but focus on the shoulder socket and arm bone joint moving. So now the shoulder blade isn't moving, it's just a stable piece. Now remember, you can sit up and draw that circle this way. So we had either leaning and circling on the floor, but if you sit up, you can draw it and it's like a front to back circle like that. And notice I am letting my hand go behind, but I'm not cranking it. I'm letting it go forward. I'm not taking it too high, just comfortable. And then let's do the other direction. So now it would be an inward circle, inward, that can turn into a forward circle. Just released and soft, easy. And then let it hang and release. Switch sides. So right hand on left knee, lean over, draw that circle. Remember, soft is key. Feeling how it's a different mode of usage. Go ahead, sit up, and you can do that backward circle. It's a different way of using the body. So many people that I work with, A lot of what's in their way is just this gripping and holding and tension. And once you relieve that and get it out of the way, body works a lot better. Let's do the other direction. Inward circle. Inward. And maybe turn it into a forward circle if it's appropriate. Soft. Super soft, easy, and relaxed. Good. All right, back to neutral. Folding at the elbows. Just one time, compress your elbow joints and then relax the effort and feel that openness through the elbow joint. Now, as you drop your hands softly, keep that feeling of openness there and then bounce them a little bit like these little springs, these little loaded springs. Keep that bouncy quality, float the arms up in front. So this is what, when I say Tai Chi straight, this is Tai Chi straight. Like a hose, rather than locking everything out and closing everything off. So soft, round. Turn your palms down and up. Palms down and up. Remember to let it go through to the fingers, through to the fingers, through to the fingers. Then palms up, fold in. Notice how deep of a fold happens here and through. Through. So each time you come up, you got to spin and fold. And then can you get out of the way? And even, notice my arms, I'm sort of throwing it through. Right? And then pause. Palms turn out, drop and bring them in, up and out like an offering. Spin, spin. And then you can get out of the way. And maybe even sort of throw it like you're getting a wheel to spin, spin, spin. But soft, so easy. And then down. Arms up, fingers. And down. Palms up. Lift your chest, turn up, leaning back. Bring the elbows back and down behind you. Look up, up, up. And then hands come up. Tiger claw into a light Tai Chi fist with a little air pocket in your fist. Wrapping, bring it around and bow the head. Relax the effort in that direction. That almost acts like a sponge. Just relaxing the effort should float you towards middle. And then you apply a little effort, effort, effort. Go for it. Lift up, look up, reaching. Elbows back and down, and then relax the effort. It brings you to neutral in the middle, and then you add some effort to go for it. This is pumping our lymph system. This is unlocking all the joints in concert with each other, right? All the joints, shoulders, wrists, forearms, finger knuckles, spinal joints, up and round. Bring it in and compress and squeeze. And then just relax, come to middle, and the arms float down. Sit back against the back of your chair. Tai Chi fists, chamber, push, chamber, switch. So here we're getting this spring load, land. Remember, it can be a downward push if the back is feeling tense or the hamstrings feel tight. Right? It can be at a downward angle, or it can be more straightforward. You might get a little stretch somewhere in the back of the leg that feels good. It's also a little bit of a core exercise just to be sitting and having to stabilize yourself while putting that leg out in space. So you're getting a little something, something at the deep core and pelvic floor. Last one, put that left leg out there and hold. Foot and ankle, point, flex, point, flex. Evert, invert, a little out, in, out, in. Inward circles, in, down, around, and up. Outward circles, out, around, and up. And switch. Chamber push, point, flex, point flex. Make it satisfying all the way, all the way, all the way, all the way. Evert, invert, a little out. Remember, this one's very subtle. Subtle little movement of the foot. Feel that brain connection. Feel that little subtle joint opening that it gives you. Then inward circles, about 4 or 5. Other direction. And bring it back. Set it down. Scoot forward to the edge of your chair. Swivel steps. Do make sure you're as much to the front edge as you can so that this leg bone has room to move, right? Because that's what we're trying to do here is externally and internally rotate this leg bone at the hip. Lift left ball of foot, external, lift heel, internal, lift toe, external, lift heel, internal, lift toe, external hold. Now take your hands on both knees and press open and then rub that inner left thigh all the way out to the knee. So a lot of times there's a band of tension that's affecting your knee from inner thigh. And then walk it back in. Internal, lift heel, external, lift toe, internal, external, neutral. Other way, lift ball of foot, external, lift heel, internal, lift ball, external, heel, internal, final one, external, open. Use your hands to press that edge. And then massage that inner thigh out to the knee. And walk it in. Internal, external, internal, neutral. Hands are on your thighs. Hip hinging, fold forward. And hip hinge back up. And even lean back. Can you lean back at the hips? Notice that leaning back, how far? And then forward. So we're just moving pelvis on leg bone. Pelvis on leg bone. Now on this next one, tip, when you get to your full tip, then round the back, slide your hands down, let your head fall. Now stay rounded as you come up, 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 as if to lean back, but then lift the chest, head, and tip your hips forward so we start going forward again. So remember this one here is called shaking loose the heavenly pillar. What is the heavenly pillar? The 24 different vertebrae of the spine. So when you come down, you want to be back bended until you round. Then when you come up, you want to be rounded, 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 rounded. And then you let that spine come up into a back bend. And then you fold. So let's do 2 more. Round. And up. So we're getting this wash to our central nervous system. Some of you maybe are finding some barnacles, some adhesions through that vertebra. And then settle to neutral in the middle. Now, step your legs wide apart as you can. Hands slide around so fingers are on the inside of your thighs. Elbows sort of exaggeratedly flared out. This would be internal rotation of the arms, right? So we're like bulldog or Komodo dragon arms here. Now, fold at the hips and drop your rib cage right in between. And notice if you can see me, my elbows stay really sort of exaggerated and flared, and that creates a very interesting sensation in the shoulders. Come back up. And again, so we're anchoring foundation with the hands, elbows flared, arms turned, and then we're bowing in between that. Now that we're down and in, turn the rib cage and head and neck to look a little to your right. Oh. And back to center and turn a little bit to your left. Ooh. Couple more each side. So if you're doing it right and you really get this arm position going, and then you just find that little crevice, that nook that you can turn a little bit in. And then that crevice or nook that you can turn a little bit. You can clean out some gunk you didn't even know was there. One more to each side. Oh. And then back to middle and sitting up. Now that movement we just did down in there is the transition point for the dragon stirs the sea. So let's do it. We lean a little bit back. We circle around to the right. And then we're coming forward. As you come forward, let your elbows be flared and then sweep through to the other side. Up and all the way around. And then we're bowing and circling through and leaning back. So these big loping movements are so good to help body mapping. So good for the joints to be able to smoothly go through. After you do 3 one direction, switch direction. Bowing and sweeping through. Oh. Bow and sweep it through. One more. And we're back to center. Legs come in. Our last one here's our last little set here for the arms and shoulder blades. Arms hang alongside you. Float out to shoulder height. Notice up till here, the shoulder blades have not had to do a thing. Turn the arms. Still, shoulder blades haven't had to do a thing. Now, any further we go, it's your shoulder blades doing what's called upward rotation. Feel it happening in your back. And then from here, more upward rotation with the right one. Get that little extra bit as you get right fingertips a little above left fingertips. And then settle it back down and do left shoulder blade a little bit higher. And then back. And then right shoulder blade a little bit more. And then down. Left. A little bit more. Reach that peak, peak, peak. And down. One more of each. This gets the nook and cranny area of the shoulder blades and neck and mid-back. It's just like rust. You wouldn't want that. It's like plaque. It's actually like plaque and tartar, right? So what we're doing is we're flossing the body. Now go a little higher, higher. Reach both, and sweep. And release down. Flossing the body out, right? Getting rid of that plaque. Then we're going forward and up. Now, same idea here. Up till about here, shoulder blades haven't had to do really anything. But any further, they got to start upward rotating. Feel that upward rotation. Then lengthening up like you're trying to touch the ceiling, and then arch the back. Lift your heart. Create a back bend, heart opening. They say this is so good for feeling down, depression. Right? It's like the opposite of what depression and sadness want to do to us. We can really just clean it out. And then forward and down, all the way down. Hands on your thighs. Just take 3 breaths. Long, smooth, thorough, enjoyable. In the nose. Make sure your mouth isn't hanging open there. In the nose, fill, hold. Smoothly out the nose. Empty, hold. 2 more. Standing and sitting. So slide your feet back a little bit. Arms hang alongside you. Fold at hips. Effort forward a little. push down through the earth and rise up to vertical. Then stick your butt back. Then bend your knees. Land on your chair. Sitting. 2 more. Now let's do 3 where we don't hit the chair. We just fold, sink, and then rise. So you're working on commanding the joints in concert with each other. Fold, sink, and rise. Fold, sink, rise. Now fold, sink, and hold. Remember that you don't want to be pushing your knees forward, but rather pushing your butt back and sinking through the heels. Breathe. Hold. That isometric contraction to hold you up is what turns on this generator, this chi generator, life force generator. 3 more breaths. Learn to enjoy that feeling of fatigue that becomes life force, becomes energy, and then push through the earth all the way back up to standing. All right. Tai Chi squats into the exercise known as billowing the clouds. So that's a light bend of knees, the hands sink down and do a little scoop. Then knees straighten as we come up with the hands, very small but thorough little circular movement out, and then sink, scoop, rise. Maybe the hands float up a little higher. So treat this one like an opportunity to feel the hose-like fluid hydraulic connectivity of the body. Open all compartments, legs through the torso, arms through the torso, all connected. And then maybe start to really exaggerate this, but use it as a cleaning out of tension, of nervous system tangles, like a wash. Billowing the clouds. Now we're really able to take it a little further, right? Remember that we started small. Now we can make it big and round. I'm going to turn sideways for a couple. You can see I can allow like a little bit of sink this way, just so I can get a little lower, and then I come up and the hands just really float out. I'm in no rush too. That's the other piece to this one. We're not rushing. We're enjoying this freedom of the body. All right, so this is a great exercise to do if you're standing around waiting, right? Waiting for something, and you feel a little angst. You know, you can just kind of move in this way to circulate that life force so it doesn't feel bottled up. And then done. All right. Now here we do the one called sink chi to wash the organs. So I'm going to turn at an angle so you can see the various little angles. But before we go right into it, we got to get this rock the weight a little bit forward on the balls of your feet. And notice that you can kind of lean forward, but you're not falling. And then go back from the fronts of the feet towards the middle of the feet, and then a little bit towards your heels. Notice you can sort of lean back, you might say, and then rock towards the middle, and then towards the front. Now we'll do that a couple more times. When you lean forward, let your hands float out in front a little bit, through to the fingertips. Then when you lean back, they drag with you. And then like a pendulum, they go behind. And then we rock forward, and they drag forward, and then float forward. Rock back a little bit, and come back. One more, and then we'll go into the next exercise. This one's sort of involved. So we rock back, The hands are coming back. Now, they float out like crane wing, one that we've practiced for a while now. Rock forward and the hands sweep out in a big circular gathering gesture. And then turn your palms face up slightly. Rock back and bring the hands to the mouth, up near the mouth, and then down. Hovering at the belly for a moment, identifying that as our dantian, our center. Then point your fingers down. Now begin to sit the tush like a squat. Release the arms, let them hang, and round and open the back gently. So now you should feel this sort of back gates opening thing. Push through the earth, rise up, and just let that rounded back just naturally stack, 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 crown dangling from a string. Rock slightly back, bring the hands back. Crane wing rock forward, around, out. This is called dip into the distance. Then rock back gently, bringing to the mouth. And then down, sort of like you're drinking in to the belly. Point your fingers down, sit the tush, round, hang, and feel the whole back open up, floodgates open out to the body. Push through the earth, and notice how just by pushing through your feet, you rise up, and you don't have to hold tension in the body. Let's do 3 more. Rock slightly back, get the circle started, forward, circle and sweep. To the mouth, rock back and drink in, wash in, invite in, and down the front channel to the belly where you pause and attend to that important area. And then on through you go. Open hips, open knees, open ankles, open balls of feet, and push through the earth and rise. 2 more. Eventually this one starts to just flow itself. Just by standing in place, the life force just moves your body through this path, this pattern, in a sort of washing, cleaning, nourishing way. Last one. As you rise, we're standing. Now let's do our Tai Chi arms. Rising hands forward and up. Hands slide down in front. Again, rising hands, wrists are folded like so. And then when we come down, fingertips fall. 1 more. Hands scoop in front. Crane. Big, big crane. And then, this is very important to open this gate here. Round and open, open, open. Big bird. Now hands scooping, come up through the middle, backs of hands facing each other. And then we corkscrew out to the wings. And then down. Up through the middle. Corkscrewing out. And down. Other way. Out to the wings. Roll, fold, up and over. And then drop. Smooth. Let them come all the way to relaxed, and then wings, roll and fold up and over and down. Now, embracing moon, crane wing. Left hand under, right hand over. Hold the ball, knees slightly bent. 1 more to the other side, out. And keep moving all the way around. Smooth. And then out. And down. Lateral shift. Relaxed arms, totally easy. Shift the weight more to your right leg, teacup, balance. Then shift more to your left leg. Remember to let the open hip, open knee, open ankle, ball of foot, bullseye, and then shift. Now let's add to this. Shift to the left, turn your hips just slightly left. Keep them turned left as you shift to the right and then turn slightly right. Let the floating, open, plump, chi-filled hands and arms start to engage with the space out there in a passive way, right? Because I'm shifting and turning, these floating limbs start to make these these movements. Now, the next time we come across, this is brushing, playing with the bear paws. Now, float, crane wing, roll, and fold. Let's do brush, knee, and push. So it's shift and turn. That's bottom hand brush, top hand push. They switch. Shift and turn, brush and push. Get out of the way. Shift and turn, brush and push. Shift and turn, brush and push. One more to each side. Brush and push. Now, golden rooster, left hand's coming up and settling right into this little pocket. Right hand is down in front of the hip. Right foot is empty-ish. Step it slightly behind you with toes turned out. And then we shift and sit in the back leg like it's a chair, taking all your weight, empty front foot, step it slightly in front and touch the toe. Now, if possible, first let's look at one thing here. If you're doing that, notice what I just did there, and this is very common, throws everything off. So let's all do the wrong thing for a moment. Stick that butt out just a bit, and then rise and bring it underneath, and now sink through the leg, and feel how it's like you're sitting on a chair. Then maybe this is possible. That front foot being empty. Now, if when you lift this foot, you lean and come back, it means you haven't actually emptied this. So work on getting it emptier so that it's just very light. And then you might lift and lower, right? Let's switch sides. Step that foot back, toes turn slightly out. Shift and change. So now your left leg becomes full, left hand down, right hand pointing up, and step that foot just a teeny bit in front. So some of you, this will be your whole pose. You'll just hold and maybe do this. You see my foot? I'm just saying empty, empty, right? Over time, you get to be able to go whoop. But notice when I lift this, nothing is changing here. Nothing. And it's not because I'm tighter. And it's not because I'm holding on more. It's because I've let go more. And nothing's in the way. Now let's flow through that golden rooster. Step to the side, toes turned out, shift and change. Your choice is either one toe out and touch floor or empty float it. Step it down, shift and change. Rooster. Shift and change. Rooster. Shift and change. Rooster. And down. Now, parallel your feet. Both hands come down. Standing bear. Shift and turn. Shift and turn. Now we're going right into our play with clouds. So these are all familiar pieces at this point, especially if you've been coming to class. Coming across, this back hand, this left hand rises like vapor and becomes a cloud. Now keep it as a cloud, this hand stays in the lake. We shift, turn, cloud and lake. Then they change. One rains down, one vapors up, and now we're shifting, turning, cloud and lake, vapor and rain. Shift and turn, cloud and lake, vapor and rain, cloud and lake, vapor and rain. Find your center and let everything move from that center. The only way to truly find the center is to get out of the way, drop off what's in the way, what you're holding, the sort of sheaths of tension, layers of tension. And then we just feel this hydraulic, soft, fluid self. This sort of plumpness that comes when we're truly relaxed. And then that's like a buoyancy, it's a power. It's like the power of a beautiful baby. I have my little niece who's 1 maybe or something, and she's just teaching me so much about what that looks like and what that feels like, to just that plumpness. And then now bring that right hand down and standing bareback to the middle. Now move yourself to the right side of your space so that you have a little bit of a runway to your left. So safely make your way over there. Now sink down, find that Tai Chi leg, hip, everything. Put your weight through your right leg so left foot is empty, side step. Step it laterally but empty. Notice I did not do this. I didn't do that. I went like this. Boom. Then shift. Now same idea here, bringing this foot in with no weight. Notice that it's still empty. Then there's a shift. Now when the left leg is empty, step it. Shift. So it's like lateral shifting, but with a step. Shift. Shift. Now we're going to do one more this way and switch sides. Shift. Foot comes in, back out. Shift. Can you never come up from your root? So the idea is that eventually it's as if your rootedness never changes. The only thing that changes is which leg are you using as the conduit to that rooted feeling. And you can only root by relaxing. You can't force the root. You have to get out of the way and connect to the earth. One more. Now, stay here on this side. Sorry, I have to adjust something on my computer. Okay. So now we're here on this side, weight is through this right leg, turn slightly right, bring left hand up like a cloud, right hand is in the leg. Step, left foot out, empty. So now we're ready. Notice I said step, I didn't say shift. So step, separated from shifting. Now it's shift and turn, cloud and lake. Then it's vapor and rain as you step your right foot in but don't shift. Then it's shift to the right leg and turn, cloud and lake. Then it's vapor and rain as you step without shifting. Then it's shift and turn, cloud and lake. Vapor and rain as you step in. Shift and turn, cloud and lake. Vapor and rain as you step out. Shift and turn, cloud, lake. Vapor, rain, step in, switch directions. Step back out, shift and turn, cloud, lake. Vapor and rain, step in. Shift and turn, cloud, lake. Vapor and rain, step out without shifting. Shift and turn, cloud, lake. Step in without shifting. Shift and turn, cloud, lake. Vapor, rain. Let's do 3 more in each direction, just to get that flow. Some of you will start to feel like, oh, I can take the training wheels off a little bit and just think of the poetry, the beauty and the ease. Others of you might feel like, oh no, I still need those training wheels, so that's shift and turn, cloud and lake. As you vapor and rain, you step in. Shift and turn, cloud and lake. Vapor and rain as you step out. Shift and turn, vapor, rain, switch directions, stepping in and out, shift. So if you do it at first with the training wheels, you can actually mark the places where you're running into the stopping and the stopping, but then you bleed right through those eventually in this way that creates such a healing balm to the system. You just bleed right on through, flow. Butter. And then let that right hand come down, standing bareback to the middle, and then move back to the middle of your space. We're going to do a walking exercise that we haven't done yet. So, seeing my feet. So from here, and actually I'm going to turn this way, just watch me do one round. So I shift my weight into my left leg. This is empty and I turn it out. Notice I didn't step it anywhere, I just turned it externally. Then I'm shifting into that leg and facing that direction. This foot stays empty and then I land it. Then I shift into the left and I do it again. So I'm turning the right leg out and then shift and aligning. Shift through the left leg, turn your right leg out. Shift and come around. So go ahead on your own. If you understand it, make 2 rounds. If you need to just kind of watch it to get your mind around it, you can watch. I'm just going to keep doing it for a couple rounds before I switch. And the key is to not clump, 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 clump your feet, but rather shift and empty the right leg, turn it and step it without putting weight in it, then shift, turn, and align. Then shift, turn it out. Shift, turn, and align. Shift, turn it out. Shift, turn, and align. Now, switching directions, empty left foot turns out. Then shift, turn, and align. Shift, turn that leg out. Shift, turn, and align. Making the effort be, or the emphasis on not stepping with an empty foot each time. So it stays empty and then you change into it. You turn the foot out, it's empty, so that you always feel that shift. So it doesn't have that clunky feeling that can come along with just aging in general. Whether you're dealing with some overt issue like PD or not, this sort of clunkiness that comes along with it, that's remedied by thinking about smooth and buttery and soft and melting through your movements. Good. The next time you're back to facing forward, stay there and just stand for a moment and feel what that did for your hips, right? You turned the leg out, you shifted onto it and had to turn your pelvis to align with that foot and leg. So it gave us an interesting rotating sensation while we were doing our stepping and walking, right? So it's a great exercise. And then there's a couple steps above that in that same direction. All right. So now turn your, shift your weight to your right. We'll finish with the push and pull. Turn your left leg out, toes out maybe 5, 10, 15 degrees. Shift in to that leg and step your right foot a little bit in front. Remember to keep width and length. Hands come up in front of the chest. Now we're shifting into the right leg, turning the hips and pushing. Then the hands turn around, we're shifting back and receiving. Turn the hands forward, shift and push. Turn the hands around, shift and receive. Now, the depth of the ocean is the belly. Shift. The fingertips are the foamy tips of the wave. Turn it around. The depth of the ocean sinking back and draws the tips of the ocean, tips of the wave back. Shift and push. Shift and return. Shift and push. Shift and return. So make sure it's coming from the belly. 2 more. Shift. Shift. Good. Shift. Shift. Bring that empty right foot back with toes turned slightly out. Stand up tall, drop your arms. Then sink through that right leg. Hands come up into a push and step the left foot. Remember, a little wide, a little forward. And then we're shifting forward and letting the tips of the wave go all the way out. And then we're sinking back from the belly and bringing the waves back in. Then shift and push. And return. Shift and push. Now notice, is there any tension that you can just let go of so that it's softer? So you're not trying to create strength through tension. We're actually getting out of the way so that suppleness and fluidity becomes your ally. Fluid. Adaptability. Soft. 2 more. As we come back, step back, hands come down, parallel feet. 3 sink chi to wash organs, crane wing. Drinking in, down to the belly. Stick the tush out, round, release down. Stay relaxed as you push through the earth and rise. 2 more. After that last one, we sink the chi to the belly. Crane wing, roll and fold. Hands like magnets guiding life force to that point 2.5 inches behind the belly button. Then seal, place one hand over the belly button, other hand over that hand, and we finish our practice with what's called big open, big close. So we start spiraling circles from the belly button, getting larger and larger. They say women go up the right, down the left to get bigger. Men go up the left, down the right. So this is my left, so I'm going up my left, down my right, up my left, down my right. Women, you'll look like my mirror image. Guys, you'll look like this, going up your left, guys. Yeah, that way, good. So circle, 18 circles getting larger, 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 till you're at the whole belly. Just feel that big round belly space where all those organs are housed, and the digestive tract. They call it the chi high, the sea of chi, our belly. Nice and round. On number 18, we come underneath, we turn it around. Now we go 12 to go back home. 11, 10, we're getting smaller. 9, 8, getting smaller still. 7, 6, 5. When we're around, those last few were real small, right around the belly button. And then seal. And one final time, sink chi to belly. And seal it. And when we seal, we place one hand over, another hand over that hand. And then the Taoist bow, one hand out with the thumb extended, grab the thumb, fold those fingers over, and you create a little yin-yang looking thing there, which means balance of the energies within us. And thank you all so much. Now, find a comfortable seat, be at ease. If you have somewhere else you need to go to, another class or somewhere to be, feel free to just wander off. I'm going to unmute everyone. You have to confirm you're unmuted in order for me to hear you.